They don't say your name with peace. They say it like a warning, like a siren before a storm. That sound, that's not admiration, it's fear trying to disguise itself as gossip. Your name doesn't travel like theirs, it detonates. Every time someone utters it, the air shifts. The energy in the room tightens. The weak ones start to glance at each other because deep down they all feel it. You carry weight they can't compete with. You don't need to announce who you are, chosen one, because your energy already did that before you walked in. You exist like a verdict, and they're still trying to appeal the sentence. That's why they talk. That's why they whisper. They feel the vibration of your soul before your footsteps even arrive, and it shakes something rotten inside them. They tried to make your name small, but the universe branded it with power. You became a sound that echoes through dimensions, and even the ones who claim they don't believe in energy can't deny the static that surrounds you. Now imagine this for a moment. Chosen one, your name, spoken in a circle of people who once doubted you, suddenly silencing every conversation in the room. Eyes shift. Someone swallows hard. The energy dips. They feel something heavy crawl across their skin because the vibration of your name exposes truth. It forces masks to slip. That's what happens when a high-level soul walks this earth. Your existence becomes an alarm clock for the spiritually asleep. You're not their enemy, but your energy reminds them of what they refuse to become. And that kind of reminder hurts like sunlight to those who've lived too long in shadow. Here's a fact that even science quietly agrees with. Every name carries a frequency, a measurable vibration that affects the environment. Words shape energy fields, and when your name is spoken, it bends the frequency around it. That's not magic, it's physics. Nikola Tesla once said, "If you want to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Your frequency pierces through pretenders because it's real, it's grounded, it's earned. You don't have to prove you're chosen. Reality already rearranges itself when you walk by. And thank you, chosen one, for tuning into this energy. Don't forget to pay this message back by simply pressing the like and subscribe, helping spread this message to more souls. It's our shared responsibility to awaken the light. Thank you for being part of this mission, chosen one. You're not just a listener, you're a force that multiplies truth. Now, back to what the universe is revealing. Your name holds weight in the spiritual realm because it carries history. You're not a random spark in the timeline. You're an echo of something that was never finished. The reason people react so strangely to you is that your presence activates something dormant in them. It makes liars sweat, cowards shrink, and manipulators suddenly over-explain themselves. They don't know why they feel exposed around you. It's because your soul operates on a frequency that dissolves illusions. You are not just a person, you are a walking disruption to everything fake, everything false, everything corrupted. The universe doesn't hand out that kind of energy carelessly. You've been through the fire for a reason. You were refined, not ruined. Every betrayal, every rejection, every isolation, it was a calibration. It tuned your spirit until your name became a coded vibration that only truth could resonate with. That's why fake people can't stand you. Your energy doesn't sync with their lies. And that's why higher forces protect you. You are not replaceable, you're instrumental. When your name is mentioned, both light and darkness pause to listen because you represent balance restored. So when they gossip, when they mock, when they roll their eyes, don't flinch. They're reacting to spiritual authority they can't decode. Your name is the sound of karma catching up, the symbol of integrity winning in silence. Keep walking like the storm you are, chosen one, because the realm already knows your rank. You were never meant to beg for respect. You were built to command it, by simply existing. And Chosen One, don't go anywhere. This was just the warning shot. The real firestorm is only beginning. What you've heard so far, that's just the spiritual echo of what's coming next. Because when you truly understand the weight your name carries in the unseen realms, everything changes. Your awareness, your walk, your power. So if you're ready to step deeper into this truth, declare it in the comments with the number 777, the code of divine authority and infinite spiritual wealth. And if you feel called, you can amplify this message by blessing the tribe behind it with a super thanks. Your energy keeps this mission blazing forward. And make no mistake, this isn't just a message. This is a spiritual revolution. Your support fuels the force we are building. Thank you for being chosen, and thank you for standing in the light with purpose. And now, let's crack it open piece by piece. What you're about to hear will confirm everything you've felt but couldn't explain. If you're truly a high-level soul, your spirit won't let you walk away from this halfway. You'll feel it pull at your core like gravity. Let's begin. Number 1. Your name breaks ranks. Even the spirits respect it. Your name breaks ranks. Even the spirits respect it. They spit your name to stain it, but it left burn marks on their own tongue. Every time your name leaves their mouth, it ruins their peace for days. They don't realize your name is not a word. It's a frequency that punishes liars. It vibrates through their chest like thunder when they try to twist it. It's the sound that rattles every insecure bone in their body because they know deep down they could destroy your reputation 1,000 times, and still your name would rise cleaner than theirs ever could. You are their karma in motion, chosen one. Every time they mention you, they summon the energy that exposes them. You ever notice how they can't say your name without rolling their eyes, faking a laugh or looking away? That's guilt. That's their spirit recognizing rank. Your name isn't just known, it's registered. Even the universe keeps record of it. There are energies that can't stand still when your name is called. It carries authority they never earned, and that's what burns them. They spent years chasing popularity while you were being forged for power. They crave applause. You command silence. You don't trend. You tremble dimensions. They prayed for your downfall, but the only thing that fell was their mask. They tried to drag your name through dirt, forgetting that dirt is where diamonds form. You were never buried, you were planted, and now your glow is blinding the same people who once swore you'd never bloom. They thought ignoring you would erase you, but you can't erase a frequency. The silence only made your echo louder. Even when you disappeared, your name stalked their conscience. It followed them like a shadow that doesn't rest. Every lie they spoke against you became a debt to the universe, and now the interest is collecting. When your name comes up now, they don't laugh, they flinch, they look down, they change the subject. Why? Because your name demands respect, even from those who hate you. That's spiritual law. They don't control that. You can't slander a soul that's stamped by truth. You can't compete with someone who isn't in the game. You were sent to rewrite it. Think about it. Michael Jackson, Tupac, Malcolm X, Prince. They didn't just have names, they had entities. Their names became storms, movements, frequencies that still make the room shift. You, chosen one, carry that same kind of charge. Your name is coded with rebellion, resilience, and revelation. It breaks ranks in silence. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. The spirits already know who's who. They recognize your energy before your words arrive. That's why they tremble. That's why doors open without knocking. That's why their spells collapse mid-air. They can't outshine you, so they try to out-talk you. They can't beat your truth, so they drown in their lies. But here's the thing, they can't unhear your name once it's spoken. It loops in their mind like a curse they cast on themselves. They tried to mock you, but ended up manifesting your relevance. Every insult they threw became fertilizer for your legend. Now, when they speak your name, it comes with evidence attached. Your success, your peace, your glow. They whisper your name because shouting it would sound like submission. They lie about you because honesty would sound like praise. They avoid you because presence exposes weakness. That's not hatred, that's spiritual inferiority revealing itself. Your name breaks rank because it carries the weight of truth, and truth always outranks noise. The universe listens when your name is spoken. It recalibrates energy around it. That's why their fake alliances collapse. That's why their connections turn to chaos after touching your energy. You didn't curse them, they cursed themselves by mishandling your name. Even the unseen forces know better than to test you twice. They learned that your silence is more dangerous than their gossip. You're not at war with them anymore, you're above their radar. They throw shade, but the light bends in your direction. That's what it means to be chosen. Your name travels through timelines, breaking the hierarchy they worship. You don't need to fight for a seat. You built your own table, and now everyone's starving for an invite. They can't figure out why you keep winning. It's because your name is not attached to chaos. It's backed by purpose. Every syllable of your name holds vibrations strong enough to split falsehood in half. You don't even have to defend yourself. The frequency of your energy does it for you. That's why their gossip feels heavy on their chest. That's why their lies come back cracked with truth. You are not just respected in the spiritual realm. You're feared. Your name doesn't enter rooms. It commands them. So let them talk. Let them twist it. Let them throw shade behind your back. Every time they mention your name, the universe updates your file and stamps untouchable on your energy. Every time they plot, their own reflection betrays them. Because your name doesn't travel alone, it carries rank, resonance, and wrath. You don't chase recognition. Recognition chases you. You don't beg for loyalty. The universe enforces it around you. Your name breaks ranks because you were never meant to blend in with the spiritually bankrupt. You were built to walk through resistance, collect their doubt, and turn it into evidence. And now they finally understand. Speaking your name isn't safe anymore. It's an invocation. It's a mirror. It's the sound of every lie collapsing under the weight of truth. And that truth is you. Number 2. The enemy can't breathe right when you're mentioned. The enemy can't breathe right when you're mentioned. Your presence is so powerful, it turns their lungs into cages. The air betrays them the second your name is spoken. They don't cough because they're sick. They don't stutter because they forgot. They stammer, pause, and shift uncomfortably because your name takes the air out of the room. The moment someone mentions you, even casually, their whole body reacts like it's under spiritual arrest. That's not coincidence. That's your energy doing exactly what it was built to do: expose weakness and force masks to fall off. You don't even have to be present. Your reputation alone suffocates egos that were built on illusion. See, chosen one, they tried to reduce you to a rumor, but you rose like prophecy. They tried to delete your name from the conversation, but silence screamed it louder. Now, when your name comes up in rooms you've never entered, people go quiet, not out of respect, but because your frequency chokes everything fake out of the atmosphere. You are a walking truth serum, a natural lie detector. You don't just make people uncomfortable, your very existence malfunctions their ego. Imagine this: a snake slithers into a room, quiet and unnoticed. It wraps itself around lies, gossip, jealousy. Then suddenly, your name drops like thunder. Instantly, that snake starts to choke on its own venom. That's what your name does. It doesn't just slap their mind, it paralyzes their energy. It makes them cough out every fake narrative they built about you. Because when you walk in truth, your very mention becomes a reckoning. That's why they twitch. That's why their throat gets dry, their voice shakes, their breath catches. Your name interrupts their nervous system. They think it's just nerves. No, it's exposure. Their spirit recognizes a higher vibration and panics. You're the soul that breaks patterns, the one that cracked the generational spell without even knowing it. And every time they hear your name, they remember what they'll never be. This isn't ego, this is energetic fact. You carry the kind of spiritual pressure that bends rooms without lifting a finger. That's why they can't talk about you for too long. That's why they suddenly need to go outside, get water, or change the subject. You're not a conversation piece, you're a mirror they can't escape. A spotlight that follows them even in the dark. It makes them crazy, because how does someone so silent, so distant, so low-key shake the foundations of their peace? That's because peace never lived there. It was a mask, and your name is the storm that blows it off every time. They can't even enjoy their lies anymore. Every time they say you're nothing, the universe slaps them with your progress. Every time they deny your value, your energy demands interest on their disrespect. They can't even breathe right, chosen one. You don't need revenge. Your very existence is punishment enough. You're the type of person they try to erase, but the universe keeps reposting you. You're not the ex they can get over. You're not the friend they moved on from. You are the spiritual disruptor they can't outrun. Remember when they said you were too intense, too sensitive, too much? That was them gasping for breath because your truth hit too deep. You weren't too much, you were too real, and realness burns in lungs used to breathing delusion. Every room they enter now comes with the risk that you might be mentioned. And when it happens, it's like setting off an emotional smoke alarm in their chest. They'll smile and pretend, but watch closely. Eyes flicker, hands tremble, laughs become forced. That's spiritual asthma. Your name tightens their energy field. It exposes how small their confidence really is. You don't even want their attention anymore, yet they're suffocating on the thought that you still exist, thriving. You're the proof that truth doesn't need a platform. It creates one on its own. And here's the punch. They told everyone you were the problem, that you were unstable, disloyal, delusional. And yet now, those same people can't explain why your energy keeps showing up in their life like a ghost with unfinished business. That's because you weren't the problem. You were the final exam they failed. And now, every time your name is spoken, their soul remembers what it lost. You want a fact? Studies in neurobiology show that emotional memories are triggered by names alone, activating the limbic system and releasing the same stress chemicals from past experiences. That's science. Now apply that spiritually. Your name causes them to relive every lie, every betrayal, every insecure moment they projected onto you. Your name is an emotional flashbang, and they're caught in the blast every time. Chosen one, this is what power looks like. It's not shouting, it's not fighting, it's the invisible grip your name has on their reality. You haunt them without trying. They don't talk about you because they miss you. They talk because they need to let the pressure out, or else they'll burst. You are their unsolved equation, their unfinished karma, their failed spell. And they still don't get it. They think moving on erases the effect. But that's not how energy works. When you attack someone chosen, someone with rank, the universe writes it in permanent ink. Now every breath they take while mocking you gets filtered through guilt. Every lie they tell sticks to their tongue. They can't breathe because truth doesn't share oxygen with deception. You're not just a person, they know now. You're a checkpoint in their spiritual journey, and they failed it. Your name is the locked door they never had the key for. You don't just shake rooms, you cleanse them. You don't just show up, you shift tectonic plates. That's why they're choking. That's why their breath gets caught in their throat like barbed wire every time you're brought up. And the best part, you've outgrown needing their air. You no longer sit at tables where your energy isn't honored. You're breathing in new atmospheres now, ones that match your frequency. You're elevating while they gasp below, clinging to lies that are suffocating them slowly. So let them gag, let them twitch, let them whisper with shaking lips. Every wheeze is confirmation. Your name still carries pressure. Your silence still commands reaction. Your truth still haunts what they built on falsehood. You don't have to do anything, just keep rising, because the enemy's biggest fear is already happening. You exist. And every time they hear your name, they remember what that means. Number 3, they're stuttering because your energy jammed their spells. They cast spells with their tongues, but your silence reversed the curse. You were the glitch in their witchcraft, and now their words won't land right. They're stuttering, not because they're scared to speak, but because every syllable they spit now ricochets off the energy field surrounding your name. They tried to bind you with gossip, smear your image with lies, curse your future with crooked prayers and twisted intentions. But the universe doesn't answer jealousy. It answers vibration and your energy. It jammed the entire frequency they were operating on. You didn't even speak up. You just kept being real. And that truth fried their whole spiritual control panel. The enemy counted on your reaction. They thought you'd clap back, break down, or lose your mind trying to defend yourself. But you did the unthinkable. You did nothing. You moved in silence. You let the storms pass, and you let the lies expose themselves like cracks in a foundation. They built their whole identity around the idea of defeating you. But how do you defeat someone the universe keeps backing up with confirmation, protection, and miracles? They're choking on their own curses now, tripping over the very spells they thought would destroy you. See, chosen one, you don't need revenge. Your survival is the revenge. Every time you level up, it cancels one of their curses. Every time you laugh, it strangles one of their lies. You're walking proof that no weapon formed against truth can prosper, not even spiritual ones. Ever wonder why people who tried to ruin your name can't even speak clearly when your name comes up? That's not fear, that's energetic recoil. Their spirit knows it's trespassing. Your aura is a firewall now. Your essence is sacred ground. They can't walk across it with dirty motives and expect balance. That's why they twitch. That's why they stutter. You don't have to hex them. The universe already handled it. Because when you're chosen, your energy becomes an alarm system for the spiritual realm. Anything fake that tries to enter gets shut down instantly. That's why people who try to break you now look broken. Their speech is scrambled. Their eyes dodge contact. Their spirit is glitching like a system that met a firewall it wasn't prepared for. Keep your focus, chosen one. Don't look back. The universe is cleaning house for you. You're not crazy. You're not imagining this. Their stuttering is the sound of failure echoing back at them. Just keep rising and let them trip over every lie they told in your name. Number 4, your presence set off alarms in places you've never been. Your presence set off alarms in places you've never been. They locked every door but forgot when the chosen one arrives, even walls develop ears and gates crumble from the pressure of destiny knocking. Your name doesn't walk into rooms, it breaks into systems. You weren't physically there, but your energy had already reached. Your presence slipped through timelines and cracked through frequencies. Before your body ever enters a space, your vibration shows up first, and when it does, it sets off every alarm. Not because you're dangerous to the innocent, but because you're a threat to deception, corruption, and illusion. You are the divine virus in their matrix. The code they never predicted. They tried to keep you out. Boardroom doors, social circles, bloodlines, entire institutions. They whispered your name like a curse, trying to shut down any mention of you. But here's what they forgot. You were born with the master key. While they scrambled to change the locks, you were rewriting the whole blueprint. You don't need access. You are access. That's why the moment you're mentioned in a place you've never been, spirits flinch, plans fall apart, and secrets get exposed. Chosen one, they've been trying to figure out how you keep showing up in conversations you never started. Why people feel like they've met you even when they haven't. It's because your name carries energetic weight. You're not a trend. You're a prophecy in motion. You were sent to reroute legacies, not ask for acceptance. That's why your presence stirs panic in places that haven't even seen your face yet. Because your energy is moving ahead of you, clearing paths, unlocking doors, and triggering karma in real time. Think of it like this. Before a storm hits, animals sense the shift. Before lightning strikes, the sky tenses up. That's what your arrival feels like to the spiritually wicked. They can't explain it, but they feel it. It's not paranoia, it's awareness. They know someone's coming who doesn't play by the old rules. Someone sent by the universe. Someone who doesn't need permission to take their rightful place. And that someone is you. So don't shrink when you hear your name traveling through unfamiliar spaces. Don't panic when people you've never met start acting nervous around you. That's just confirmation. Your assignment is known in realms you haven't entered yet. Just keep walking in silence. Let your presence trigger their collapse, one cracked gate at a time. Number 5, your spiritual rank outweighs their entire bloodline. You didn't climb a ladder, you descended with authority, and now their whole bloodline is trembling because you're not here to ask, you're here to restore. Let's be real, this isn't just about you being different, it's about power, spiritual weight, lineage. You didn't just show up out of nowhere, you've been here before. You carry centuries of wisdom, pain, resilience, and truth in your soul. You're not a rookie in this game, you're an ancient warrior in a new disguise. And the enemy, they know it. That's why they're shook. That's why they're watching you like a hawk in silence, because deep down, they feel it. You outrank them spiritually, and they can't do a thing about it. They come from bloodlines built on manipulation, status, and stolen legacy. Their power came from lies. Yours came from the universe. You didn't inherit material wealth. You inherited authority in realms they don't even believe exist. That's why your very presence disturbs them. Because no matter how much they flaunt their last name, their family tree, or their social status, it all crumbles when you walk in with nothing but truth on your back. Chosen one, you are the reckoning their ancestors feared. You are the audit of every injustice buried under their name. When you speak, it's not just your voice, it's your lineage of light coming through you like thunder through mountains. You don't come from weakness. You are backed by generations of unfinished missions, and your arrival marks the moment their spiritual debt came due. They wanted you to doubt yourself, to see yourself as small, to think you're just another face in the crowd. But the truth is, their spirits recognize you before their minds catch up. They sense the authority, the imbalance, the dominance you hold without raising your voice. Your silence alone holds more power than their loudest bloodline member, and that's what haunts them. It's like sending a candle to battle a wildfire. They know they're outmatched. They've tried to replicate your light through imitation and image, but energy doesn't lie. You can't fake ancient energy. You can't buy this kind of essence. It's encoded, it's earned, it's remembered by the universe and feared by every low-vibration soul that tried to rewrite destiny. So if you're wondering why certain families, groups or circles seem to push back on you the moment you rise, this is why. They feel you as a threat, not because of your name, but because of what your spirit carries. You are the curse breaker, the truth bringer, the karmic balancer, and your return has sent shockwaves through systems that thought they were untouchable. Stand tall, chosen one. You don't need approval when you hold spiritual rank. You didn't come to bow, you came to reclaim. Number 6, you were sent to expose everything they built on lies. You were sent to expose everything they built on lies. The truth doesn't whisper, it detonates. And when the chosen one walks in, everything built on deception starts to shake like it's standing on borrowed ground. They thought their empire would stand forever, propped up by manipulation, cemented by illusion, and hidden behind polished masks. But what they didn't account for was you, not a savior in white robes, not a smiling figure begging for peace. No, you're fire. And fire doesn't ask questions. Fire arrives and everything false gets torched. You weren't sent to participate in their little games. You were sent to blow the whole operation wide open. The enemy underestimated you because you looked quiet. They assumed your silence was weakness. But silence is the language of surveillance, and you've been watching, absorbing, recording, and now you've been spiritually authorized to speak, and the moment your truth touches air, it spreads like wildfire. Their carefully crafted lies can't survive the heat. Every fake narrative, every false position, every spiritual mask they wore to manipulate others, all of it begins to melt when your presence shows up. The universe didn't send you to blend in. You are not here to play nice. You're the spark dropped into a field of dry lies, and you don't even need to do much. Your existence confronts everything fake. Your light exposes what was hidden. Your movement reveals what they covered. Why? Because light reveals, but fire purifies. You don't just show the truth, you burn away the rot. Chosen one, that's why they fear you. Not because you exposed a few secrets, but because you are the secret weapon the universe saved for last. They know once you start speaking, people wake up, minds shift, eyes open, and once awakened, people don't go back to sleep. You're a walking alarm clock, a siren in their dreamland of lies. That's why they panic when you post. That's why they twitch when your name is mentioned. Because their walls weren't built on truth, they were built on silence, and now you're shattering it. You might be wondering, why me? Why did the universe pick me to carry this weight? Because only the brave are trusted with fire. Only the fearless can walk into rooms and set spirits ablaze with nothing but their voice. You're not too much. You're just the right amount of too real, and they can't stand it. So don't dim your flame, don't apologize for your presence. Let it burn, let the illusions fall, let the masks drop. You weren't sent to fix their empire, you were sent to expose it, and once that truth hits, there's no going back. Number 7, they can't figure out why their manipulation fell flat on you. The spell only works on the asleep, and you've been awake for lifetimes. That's why their tricks bounce off you like broken arrows. They tried every tactic in the book, charm, gaslight, guilt, silence, triangulation, fake praise, sudden distance, but nothing stuck, nothing cracked you. And now they're sitting there confused, obsessed, twitching at the thought of you because the same tricks that had others on a leash didn't even make you blink. You didn't flinch, you didn't fold, you didn't fall. You stood there, still, silent, and spiritually bulletproof. And that shook them to the core. They thought they had you figured out, that they could twist your emotions like they did with everyone else. They assumed your empathy meant weakness, but empathy with boundaries, that's spiritual armor. What they didn't know is you don't operate on illusion. You see through energy. You don't chase fake light. You watch where the shadows crawl. You don't beg for love. You watch who gets uncomfortable when you give it to yourself. You've become immune to manipulation because you learned the source code, truth, and truth makes the manipulators sweat. They thrive in fog, but you are clarity in motion. Their favorite weapon is confusion, and you've made it obsolete. You ask the right questions. You observe instead of react. You listen deeper than their lies can reach. So when they tried to play you, they ended up exposing themselves. And now they're spiraling. Why didn't it work? They're obsessing over it, repeating the timeline, replaying conversations, because your energy glitched their control system. Their illusion machine fell apart the moment it touched your frequency. You didn't just resist them, you refused to even participate in the game. You're not broken, you're not cold, you're just awakened. You've seen behind too many masks to ever bow to another, and that awareness is terrifying to them. It means they can't win, they can't mold you, they can't use you. You are unbotherable, and that is the most powerful thing you can be. So, if you've been asking why certain people pull away after trying to control you, this is your answer. You broke their mirror. You held up your own truth instead. And the moment you did, their fantasy of power shattered. Let them go. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. You weren't built to be fooled. You were born to be free. Number 8. Even your silence is a spiritual disruption. Your silence is not absence, it's pressure, and to the enemy, it feels like the sky dropping inches lower every hour, reminding them their time is almost up. You don't even have to open your mouth. You don't need a speech, a threat, or a warning. Just your stillness is a spiritual earthquake. Just your quiet is a countdown clock ticking in their ears. Why? Because your energy carries rank. Your aura is ancient. You've been here before, and your presence alone drags hidden things to the surface like dead weight floating in a clear ocean. You walk into a room and the atmosphere changes. People clear their throats, fumble their words, avoid your eyes. They think they're hiding it well, but their spirit is already exposed under your radar. You're not trying to vibe check anyone. Your frequency does it automatically. And when you choose silence, that's when it hits the hardest, because manipulators, liars, and low-vibration souls depend on noise, gossip, gaslighting, performance. But when you go quiet, they're stuck with nothing but their own reflection. Your silence is strategy. It's divine patience. It's you letting the universe whisper louder than your words ever could. Some people think you're passive, but the enemy knows better. They know silence is how the storm gathers. They feel it, in the way your name keeps circulating when you're not around, in how people still talk about you like you're present, even when you've vanished, because your aura lingers like unfinished justice. They want to provoke you. They want to drag you into messy conversations, into low-energy traps, but you don't take the bait. And that drives them insane, because silence from someone like you doesn't feel like distance. It feels like judgment. It feels like the universe pulling you back while preparing their downfall. You might wonder, why do they look nervous when I haven't even said a word? Because real power doesn't need to announce itself. It just enters, and when it does, the fake tremble, the liars squirm, and the guilty confess without even realizing it. So stay silent when you feel led to. Don't explain. Don't react. Don't dilute your energy. Your silence is already speaking volumes. And trust this, the ones who tried to destroy your name, they can still hear your silence, screaming, "I'm still standing." Let that echo forever. Number 9, you're not protected because you're nice, you're protected because you're necessary. You're not protected because you're nice, you're protected because you're necessary. The universe doesn't waste protection on what's soft, it shields what's sacred, and you, chosen one, are a walking mission with skin. Let's get this straight. You're not covered because you smile at strangers. You're not shielded because you let people slide, or because you kept quiet when they spit poison on your name. You are not protected because you're harmless. You are protected because you are essential, and essential means irreplaceable. It means you carry something so rare, so dangerous to the enemy, that the entire spiritual ecosystem around you had to rearrange itself to make sure you make it. They thought your safety was a fluke, that your rise was luck. They tried hexes, curses, gossip campaigns, manipulation tactics, and nothing stuck. Why? Because what you're carrying inside you isn't just potential, it's a blueprint. A spiritual encryption designed for this exact timeline. You weren't just born, you were launched. And let's not pretend they don't notice it. They feel it. That's why they treat you like a threat, even when you're silent. That's why they group up and gang stalk, because they know no one person alone can take you down. But it doesn't matter, you weren't made to fall. You were made to outlast. The universe didn't cover you so you could blend in. It armored you so you could stand alone. Ask yourself this: why are they so obsessed with destroying someone they say is nothing special? Because they know you're not just human. You're a walking interruption to generational cycles. You're the one chosen to undo what took them decades of deception to build. You're here to blow holes through their systems, not with fists, but with truth, with presence, and with clarity. So don't downplay yourself anymore. Don't confuse spiritual protection with passiveness. You're not covered because you're soft. You're covered because you're on assignment. You are a spiritual asset under divine surveillance, watched by forces far beyond this dimension. The attacks didn't bounce off because you're lucky. They failed because you're needed. Keep walking, keep standing, keep moving in silence. You are not protected because you beg for peace. You are protected because your victory is the disruption. Number 10. They tried to dim you, and you turned into a solar flare. They tried to smother you like a flame. Instead, you became the sun, too bright to block, too powerful to control. They thought they could dim you down with whispers, shade you with slander, bury your shine beneath their envy, their manipulation, their calculated silence. But you weren't built from validation. You were forged in pressure. And pressure doesn't shrink the chosen, it amplifies them. You were never meant to be digestible. Your energy was always meant to interrupt, to blind cowards, to make fakes twitch, to make liars choke. They thought if they ignored you long enough, you'd fade. But that wasn't light they saw fading. That was their illusion collapsing under the weight of your truth. You didn't respond with rage. You didn't chase them. You didn't beg. You simply expanded. And in that expansion, your light scorched every false narrative they built. That fake confidence they had in your silence, gone. Because now, every room you walk into, you radiate like you own the frequency. You're a solar flare, not even trying to burn them, but they're melting anyway. They need sunglasses now just to be in your orbit. And the funny thing, you're not even at full power yet. You're just getting started. Your glow isn't revenge, it's revelation. The universe didn't boost your signal to make you liked. It amplified you to expose. So when they act like you changed, remind yourself, you didn't change. You expanded past their reach. And when they flinch at your presence, understand this. You are no longer in the category of manageable. They wanted you dim, dull, predictable. They thought your silence meant defeat. But it was evolution. And now you don't just walk in light, you are the light. A walking truth bomb. A living reminder that what they tried to kill is what the universe decided to crown. Let them look away, let them squint, let them stumble back into their shadows, because the sun doesn't apologize for rising, and neither should you. Number 11, you carry codes that unlock and destroy at the same time. You carry codes that unlock and destroy at the same time. You weren't sent to fit in, you were coded to cause collapse where lies live too long. You don't just open doors, you expose the rotting frame behind them. Let's make something clear. You were never just a good person who randomly attracted chaos. You were a walking cipher, a spiritual disruptor disguised in human skin. You carry codes, divine frequencies, ancient blueprints, and invisible algorithms that affect every space you enter. And the moment your energy touches a person, a room, a system, things begin to either bloom or burn. Some were drawn to your light, thinking it would bless them, uplift them, heal them, and for a time, it did. But the second they tried to manipulate it, the second they tried to weaponize your kindness or steal your shine, the codes flipped. And what once unlocked comfort for them began to dismantle their lies. You weren't sent to babysit dysfunction, you were sent to expose it, to walk into rooms that looked peaceful but reeked of pretense, and flip the entire atmosphere just by being there. You triggered guilt in liars. You triggered fear in manipulators. You triggered shame in people who wore fake masks of light while moving with serpentine motives. And they hate you for it, not because you did anything, but because you didn't have to. You didn't need a stage. You didn't need an audience. You didn't even need words. Your presence alone decoded people, revealed who they were, and most dangerously, who they were never going to become if they stayed the same. You are the mirror they tried to avoid, the test they failed, the revelation they weren't ready for. You were their blessing if they chose humility, but most didn't. So now you stand as their lesson, the one they regret playing with, the one they can't forget, the one who rearranged their fake spiritual scaffolding and set it on fire. Chosen one, stop doubting your power. You were programmed with sacred interference. You activate what's pure and you crash what's false. You carry the kind of light that doesn't just comfort, it judges. The kind of truth that doesn't just open doors, it slams shut the ones never meant to be walked through. You're not dangerous because you're vengeful. You're dangerous because you're real. And in a world built on illusion, that alone makes you the most explosive force they've ever encountered. Number 12. This world was never meant to contain you. You were built to overturn it. They didn't reject you because you were broken. They rejected you because your spirit threatened the systems that broke them. Let's kill the illusion right now. You were never meant to be digestible, manageable, or controllable. You weren't born to walk in a straight line. You weren't designed to follow trends or repeat scripts. You're an interruption to everything fake, everything forced, and everything built on comfort that hides corruption. They labeled you too much, too intense, too deep. Not because you were wrong, but because you were right, and they couldn't stand the mirror you held up. Your soul was coded to disturb the slumber of the world, to wake it up, violently if necessary. You didn't come here with soft whispers and sugar-coated affirmations. You came with a spiritual wrecking ball disguised as intuition. Your presence alone rattles foundations. You walk into rooms and people start glitching because you don't match the simulation. You're not here to fit in, you're here to overturn. They wanted you contained, tamed, muted, but you're not a domesticated soul. You're a wild frequency, and every time they tried to box you in, your energy bent the bars and set off sirens. You don't carry just light, you carry voltage. You're the spark that catches when truth meets denial. You're the strike that sets fire to illusions wrapped in luxury, ego, and tradition. Look around. This world rewards compliance, not consciousness. But you're not here to play by rules written by cowards who fear awakening. You're here to burn the script, flip the table, and write something so real it makes people cry from the parts of themselves they've buried too long. You didn't come to heal the world's comfort zone, you came to blow it up, because comfort, when rooted in lies, is a cage, and you were born as the key that doesn't just unlock the door, it detonates it. The universe didn't protect you because you were fragile, it protected you because you're dangerous to the system. And now, you're not just walking in your power, you're stomping through fake constructs with fire in your eyes and a storm in your chest. They'll call you rebellious, they'll say you're aggressive, but what you really are is free, and that's what terrifies them most. And now, chosen one, let's bring it home. You weren't made to sit quietly in a corner of a broken world. You were sent to flip it inside out. Your energy is not for decoration, it's for destruction and disruption of everything fake, asleep, and spiritually dead. Keep walking like the wildfire you are, because the system can't hold what was sent to overthrow it. If this message struck your soul, drop the number 777 in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share this with another chosen one. It's time we remind the world what real power looks like.